Hello, I'm Stephen Marnie. Welcome to today's edition of Alert, the Medical Channel's information digest show to complement your working day.
Every day at this time, we'll alert you to key news from the professional journals and related medical websites. We'll guide you to some of the more interesting job vacancies. There will be news on upcoming conferences and PGEA accredited courses. We'll warn you about the medical stories the tabloids are highlighting, and we'll try not to forget the lighter side of life as well.
The government is suggesting new pay incentives to nurses as part of its evidence to the pay review body. The incentives would include an allowance of up to £1,000 a year for nurses and other key workers in London and other expensive cities. The NHS has about 17,000 nursing vacancies, almost a third are in London. The Health Secretary Alan Milburn also wants to scrap the existing merit awards for senior doctors. Instead, he wants a more generous bonus worth at least £5,000 for those who refuse to work outside the NHS. But Dr Ian Bogle of the BMA has called for a 14% pay rise to compensate for the increased workload caused by the NHS plan. The first clinical trials of a vaccine against malaria are starting this week. They'll be carried out in the Gambia by scientists from Oxford University who developed it. The vaccine is based on fragments of the malaria parasite's own DNA and is the first to target the disease once it enters the body's cells. If it works, it offers the best hope yet of defeating a disease which claims more than 1 million lives a year and is now threatening to spread to Europe. Time now for a couple of job vacancies we're highlighting for you in Doctor Your Career.
The town of Maryport in Cumbria looks attractive. On the western edge of the Lake District, a stone's throw from both the sea and a national park. The Maryport Group practice is looking for a half or three-quarter time partner. Attractive new premises are promised, along with an excellent lifestyle and leisure opportunities. Details from Helen Humans on 01900 815544 or write to Maryport Group Practice, Ewan Rigg Road, Maryport, Cumbria, CA15 8EL. There's nothing very lovely about Luton, although the new terminal at the airport is an improvement and the football team isn't that bad. Not far from the airport, a 3-doctor partnership is looking for a half-time replacement. It has a list size of 5,500 and all targets have been met. Call Judy Clifford 01582 574954 or write to her at the Oakley Surgery, Addington Way, Luton, LU4 9FJ.
Company news now, and Novartis and AstraZeneca are planning to buy back up to 10% of Syngenta, the agrochemicals company they formed. Industry sources say the two pharmaceutical giants are planning to spend up to $1 billion in order to stabilise the share price. Syngenta is going to market at a difficult time. The industry grew just 1% last year. Every day we'll try to draw your attention to some upcoming conferences you might be interested in attending.
The Imperial Hotel in Blackpool can be good fun at this time of year, especially now that the illuminations have started. And that's the venue for the conference of the Small Practices Association on September 22nd to 24th. Speakers include GPC Chairman Dr John Chisholm and Dr Paul Lambden, who presents the Legalities programme here on the Medical Channel. Workshops include how to avoid tribunals and risk management made easy. The cost is £235, including a tram ride. Details from the Small Practices Association on 01706 620 920. A couple of weeks later, there's the RCN Jobs Fair at the Business Design Centre in London. There'll be more than 55 exhibitors, including the Royal Air Force and many major hospitals. Seminars include surviving the job interview and stress management. There's no tram ride, but the whole thing is free. All you have to do to register is call 0870 7511 460 or visit the website www.nursingstandard.co.uk.
And don't forget, the Medical Channel will be offering regular coverage of all the major conferences every day in our programme Front Row. And in the future, some Front Row programmes will carry PGEA points. In today's edition of Synapse, the Medical Channel's daily current affairs discussion show, Dr. Lisa Roberts and her guest discuss the nurse-doctor relationship. Here's an extract.
I get the impression as a doctor that sometimes nurses resent the fact that they are nurses. Would you agree, or do you think the doctors are being a bit self-important?
Usually it's older GPs who remember all the biochemistry they learned and think, how on earth can you do it when you went on a part-time course? How can you have my wonderful knowledge? And, you know, if you haven't got A-level chemistry, you don't deserve to be, you know, prescribing, etc.
They need to know what's going on. GPs need to visit their local sites.
Nurses need to stop putting barriers up as well, because I think nurses have got this thing that all doctors are going to be against them, and, you know, it needs to be a two-way effort.
And you can see that discussion in full on Synapse, the Medical Channel's daily discussion programme. Consult your listings guide for full information, and you can also find our programme schedules in Doctor magazine. Researchers at Imperial College London say they've made an important breakthrough in the understanding of the nerve damage that causes multiple sclerosis. They've identified a nerve cell that can repair damage to myelin, the substance that coats healthy neurons but is lost in MS patients and fails to function properly in the latter stages of the condition. The researchers say their findings hold out the hope that a new effective therapy for MS may not be far away. Now let's alert you to a new interview programme on the Medical Channel.
The new season on the Medical Channel, questioning the leading experts on the Martin Lewis interview.
In the past, you've talked about the patchy diagnosis of cancer across the country. Is that starting to improve or not?
It's starting to improve. There's no doubt GPs are much more aware of cancer-related symptoms. In fact, patients are much more educated about cancer. It is amazing how cancer has come to the front of many people's minds, so that the first thing they think of if they have untoward symptoms such as weight loss is, maybe I've got cancer.
It's the old argument, if I was you, I wouldn't be starting from here.
Exactly.
But we are starting from here, and certainly in terms of the Labour government. Yes. Do you think they are making the right moves?
It's the integration that somehow in Britain that's fallen far behind. And I think the single commonest cause for that is the lack of medical manpower.
The Martin Lewis interview, exploring the world of the experts, their views and knowledge. That's the Medical Channel from October.
Remember, we're here to give you the information that you feel you can't get as quickly from other sources. Let us know the things that you're interested in.
Our address is The Medical Channel, Teddington Studios, Broome Road, Teddington, Middlesex, TW11 9NT. Our phone number is 020 8943 1133, and our email is editor@themedicalchannel.co.uk. And please note, The Medical Channel is all one word. Our fax number is 020 8614 2813, and there's our website address.
We also want to hear about life as a working doctor. Tell us what irritates you most about the NHS. What would make life easier for you? We'd also like to hear some anecdotes about your patients. And remember, this is a private channel. The public can't see it, so you won't be breaking any confidences. The Dental Health Foundation is supporting National School Milk Day on October the 11th because it says milk is good for both teeth and gums. The foundation wants schools to use the day to encourage children to swap their fizzy drinks for a glass of milk. Every day at this time, we'll be offering you our quote of the day, something medically related, ancient or modern, famous or obscure. Here's today's. It comes from Oliver Wendell Holmes, the American writer and physician.
To be 70 years young is far more cheerful than to be 40 years old.
And Oliver Wendell Holmes lived until he was 90. Well, we'd like you to send us your favourite. Give us the quote and the author and the source, please. If we use it, you could win a bottle of champagne. And finally, doctors in America have been trying out a simple scratch and sniff test to predict whether people with mild congenitive impairment will go on to develop Alzheimer's disease. 90 elderly people with memory problems were asked to identify distinct smells such as menthol, peanuts and soap. Of the 30 who scored well, none developed Alzheimer's in the follow-up period. But of the 20 who scored worst, no fewer than 16 did go on to develop the disease. Researchers concluded that the inability to recognise smells could be used as a predictor of impending Alzheimer's. The study is reported in the latest issue of the American Journal of Psychiatry. And that's it from Alert for now. We'll be back later. The Medical Channel continues, but from all of us on the programme, bye-bye for now.